Wonderland TIME. I'm officially leaving the DAO. However, as I mentioned in the title, for now. There's a few key things that I'm going to tell you, and most importantly, I'm going to cover one of the most important aspects that is currently out there right now for anybody looking to exit Wonderland as well, with a guaranteed pricing, even though you don't essentially make profit at this point. But again, at least you know exactly how you can get out if you want to rage quit. So obviously, we've just seen the price of Wonderland just take a massive hit. And with the entire market in turmoil, it's not looking too hot overall. However, we need to actually talk about this latest proposal. And I'm also going to explain why I'm leaving after I read this to you, because I do believe that this is important. And I know not everybody watches all the way through. So I want to give you the important stuff. So there's currently a vote on Snapshot. Let me see if it's on Snapshot. Yeah, so it's on Snapshot right now. It's a rage quit option to be implemented, which allows wrap memo holders to exit the protocol at a predetermined backing price. Now, here's what you need to understand right now before even looking into this proposal, is that 96.29% of time holders that have voted already said yes, they want to rage quit at a guaranteed allocation. But what does this mean essentially? Well, we can see wrap memo backing price is estimated to be $38,290 at the time of writing this. So we're going to dive into what this particular rage quit option is for wrap memo. So I highlighted the most important parts just so you can understand. Rage quit is essentially saying I'm done with this protocol, but I want a guaranteed backing price to exit without wondering, the fluctuation of the prices, etc. So here's everything you need to know. The objective is to lay out a plan and execute the rage quit option to allow wrap memo holders to exit the DAO at a value that is close to treasury backing. The goal of the first vote, which is currently happening, is to decide if the community wants to implement a rage quit contract, which allows wrap memo holders to essentially whitelist yourself. So everybody who voted yes essentially whitelisted themselves to exit the DAO at a predetermined valuation. After the vote is over, and if the results indicate that the DAO wants to implement the rage quit option, liquidity from the actual DAO, from the treasury itself, is going to be pulled, and the trading will be halted for time for wrap memo, and the entire rage quit contract is essentially going to be implemented. Now, the rage quit whitelist snapshot vote will last 4 days. Wrap memo holders who wish to exit with their wrap memo tokens and receive their part of the treasury will need to vote yes on the snapshot. By voting yes, your address will essentially be part of the whitelist. Now, here's the other thing that I will say is that we can see that this is 7 days, right? However, we also can see that the initial snapshot is to say yes or no if you actually want to have a rage quit option. Then we have the rage quit whitelist, and then there's essentially 4 days right over here, the whitelist that individuals need to vote yes to. So just because I think this is how it's going to work, just because you voted yes to this proposal that you want there to be a rage quit option, doesn't necessarily mean you're whitelisted automatically. And due to treasury including volatile assets, the final number assessed for the backing price is going to be assessed after the voting is completed from the actual rage quit whitelist snapshot. So keep that in mind. So now let's just say you voted yes that you want to rage quit, and you also voted yes in order to participate in the whitelist so you can get a guaranteed allocation at a certain backing price. The rage quit contract will be topped up with the amount needed for the entire whitelist to exit and will remain open for 72 hours. Now, that's pretty much all you need to know in this case. However, we can see with just the amount of individuals that have voted yes and how much time is inside of this voting power of this allocation versus what everybody who's already voted has voted towards, we can pretty much get the idea, the gist, that everybody just wants out. And here's the thing. Right now is the worst time in the market to really hold on to anything this volatile. Plus, we have another layer of what happened with Sifu and the liquidations as well. Obviously, nobody's going to want to hold on to this, right? Because everybody's pulling out. The market is crashing. All the FUD that happened here. I get it. Listen, I still believe that this protocol has some sort of legs to stand on because of Frog Nation, how strong, the community is. However, with just how slow everything's been moving, there's really nothing here because, again, we have 7 days for this, another 4 days for whitelist, and then the implementation of the smart contract. We're probably still 2-3 weeks out before this even happens. People just want to be liquid right now because not only is it a great buying opportunity in the market, but things have taken a heavy hit, including wrap memo, and people are just trying to wash their hands of this. Now, the reason why I'm currently sitting out and probably not getting back into into Wonderland is because, and again, this isn't a plug or anything. I want to allocate my funds elsewhere. And what I'm currently allocating to is the Monastery. So you already know, if you followed me for a long time, Immortal Monks, the NFT that guarantees your NFT to have a boosted APY inside of the DAO, which is their DAO Monastery Finance. I want to take as many funds as I possibly can, and I already got my allocated amount of pre-sale tokens to enter into the actual DAO upon opening. So again, I'm really excited for Monastery because, first off, we're first in, literally, so everybody knows that first into a new project, and if we hold, is going to, I mean, theoretically should make money if you're first in. And you know, long story short, I'm gonna make a dedicated video about this, but not right now. But I'm just kind of telling you that since everything is down in the market, that quite frankly, I want to hedge my bets into something that I believe will pretty much recoup the massive losses that I had in Wonderland, and I'm gonna just put it into Monastery. But again, you guys can see that all for yourselves, and that's what I'm doing right now. That's my current strategy, is just using funds to allocate into here. Also, before I end off this video, one thing that really emphasized the reason why I'm gonna leave Wonderland is a lot to do with governance, because the governance structure set up over there at Wonderland hasn't been the best. After I read this, the Monastery DAO governance, a new way to govern, they're essentially creating what's known as weighted staking or liquid staking, where it doesn't matter how many tokens you have, like let's just say time. It doesn't matter how much time you have, it'll never outweigh the total votes. Now, how does that work essentially? I think this is so smart. So how does it work exactly? Well, let's just say, because they gave a great example, let's say you have 100 tokens, and if you were to stake it, you have to lock your tokens, and in return for locking your governance tokens, you get back like a liquid token, another reflection token that is essentially a balance of how long you lock for. So let's say you have 100 governance tokens that you lock for 1 week. The option, I don't know if they gave an exact percentage, but I was reading this and you could see the weighted voting as they mentioned. Let's say you have a 1 week lockup for your 100 tokens, and let's just say it's 10% of voting, meaning that instead of having 100 tokens equal 100, votes in the voting pool, if you lock it up for 1 week, you only have a 10% voting right from the 100 tokens that you had. However, let's say you lock up for 2 years, 75% voting rights. That means for every 100 tokens, we'll have the same voting rights as owning 75 tokens, not the full 100. So they're doing a strategy where if you lock up your governance tokens, that you essentially have a bigger weighted vote in the actual protocol, which is great because this means that whales aren't just going to buy up governance tokens to go ahead and manipulate the entire protocol, because there's no way to buy enough to get in and out as quickly as they want to manipulate without actually holding and staking it for a long time, if that makes sense. So again, I would really recommend reading this. This is what really kind of changed my perspective on Wonderland, because right now it's a free-for-all based on whoever owns the most time, right? With Monastery, it makes sense because first off, I'm early to the protocol, and they have a strategy here in place that time doesn't, of their weighting governance, which is actually really genius in my opinion, because that means somebody with 100 tokens, if they lock it up for, let's just say 2 years for 75%, is equivalent to somebody who has 7,500 tokens and locks it up for 1 week. It's still the same amount of numbers, if I got that math correct. Math isn't my strong suit, but you get the idea. There's essentially removing the ability to have whales dictate the entire protocol, which is very smart, since we saw what happened with other protocols, other DAOs like Wonderland and Olympus DAO, where a lot of the whales were just manipulating everything. So I think that's really smart. That was actually one of the biggest reasons as to why I decided to just stay out of Wonderland, take what I have left from there and just move it over into Monastery. But again, I'm going to create a dedicated video on this. This is just my 2 cents as to why I left, because I feel like my capital can be allocated a lot better, and there's not enough movement with Wonderland happening right now. Things aren't moving fast enough, and it's very stagnant, and the price and the entire market just seems to be continuously falling. So that's my 2 cents. Take it for what it's worth. Let me know in the comments down below what your thoughts are as well. Hidden Gem fam, I will see you all very soon. Have a fantastic night. I love you all. Bye now.